All right, so we'll move on to Saturday. We're moving right along here. I love this. We're getting better and better at this all the time. We start the action on Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific time, with the Philly and Mare Sprint going 7 furlongs. This is West Point's lone entrant of the weekend, and we're really excited to run Vava. Hopefully she can bounce back from the third in the ballerina, because before that I thought she was pretty clearly the leader in the division, but she's got to deal with Society, who beat her in the ballerina, who's got a lot of speed. That's the thing that worries me in this race. I didn't see a ton of speed. I, to me, Jim, I'm all over Ways and Means. I think that we got to use a couple other ones, but I thought Ways and Means, since that Saratoga allowance race, has just been so good. She ran great in the test over a tiring track, ran great in the Gallant Bloom. She drew awesome on the outside with Chad Brown. You know, the only race she's lost this year is the only race that I actually bet her was in the Kentucky Oaks. And I thought she was Gin turning for home. And then Torpedo Anna
Yeah,
said nope and stiff armed
yeah.
her and kept on going. Ways and Means is on top for me. Who do you look at in this race? Is there anybody that could pop at a price?
I love Ways and Means too. I mean, it's hard to get around, and I love the horse as a whole. Like very consistent, digs every time. But I think that that horse is going to get bet heavily. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that horse may go off 2-1 in here, and then if you got people that are single in this at the top of their ticket, and we're going deep. That's less that we can do on the other end. I like Society a lot, and that last race was very impressive. The distance should fit perfectly, and then your horse. I think your West Point horse we got to throw in too. I wouldn't mind going three
Yeah.
deep here.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I don't think I have anything super clever. The only other horse I kind of looked at was the 7 Zeitlos, but I just think there's not going to be enough speed to set her up. So yeah, I think I'm okay with going 4, 6, 9, and then I think we kind of have our bases covered from a pace standpoint.
Yeah,
You know, we got the speed, and then we got the stalkers as well. All we need is just for there to not be a pace meltdown. We're going to the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint next, 341 post on Saturday. I, I call me a chalk eater, but I've been saying this all year that I think Cogburn is the fastest horse in the world at 5 and 6 furlongs. You know, he drew well here. He's outside. He's got some speed to his outside from the Euros and Big Evs. You know, and Bradsell probably will be pretty close. Jim, I'm curious how you see this, because I've been waiting all year for this race for Cogburn to go 5 furlongs. I can't see him losing unless one of the Euros really does something crazy. I think this is our best shot to topple the Euros on the turf races on Saturday.
okay, here's what I got here. I Obviously Cogburn, well deserved, going to be a huge favorite. If you could single one, that might be your one. I like Star of Mystery. That last race was so bad, and the horse ran so well. Just came from nowhere, no room the entire race. Was in trouble from start to finish. Once the horse got clear, should have won. Should have really won the race. I got Star of Mystery on top. I have Cogburn second, and then I got the 12 and the 11 coming up. But I could easily go too deep here. Cogburn and Star of Mystery. I definitely want to throw the six as well.
Okay, yeah, I'm good with that too, because she's a closer. So I think if Cogburn loses, it's because he gets melted down on
Yeah,
the front
yeah,
end. In which case, I don't really want any of the other horses that are up close. So I think that makes sense. I think to go 6, 9 in there, and then now we have a little bit of room in the next 3 legs to spread.
definitely.
Uh,
Yeah.
in the distaff, I I kind of want to bet against Torpedo Anna, just because she's, and this is relatively speaking for modern horses, she's had a hard campaign. She's run 6 times. She ran against the boys. She had a hard fought win in the Cotillion last time out. I'm just struggling over who to really include, because this is like, outside of her, this is one of the weakest distaff fields I've ever seen. I think that Japanese horse obviously has to be used. Awesome Result, who's 7 for 7 and just keeps getting better and better. Of the prices, I think the clear one to use is Candied at the rail. She's 15 to 1 morning line. I find it hard to believe she's going to be that price for Todd Pletcher and Irad, as people like kind of look for alternatives in the race. Those are the main 3 for me. I know I get Raging Sea. I get that she's hot right now, but she's gotten some really nice setups in her last few races. I don't know that she's really going to get that setup again. I'm okay going 1, 2, 9. Is there anybody else you want to toss in?
There is. So now going back to Torpedo Anna, I don't. I love the move of running the horse in the Travers. The horse ran her heart out. Obviously, ran unbelievable. Then came back, was a little bit weaker at Parks. Um, didn't have to be her best and still won. But that looks like a horse that has run a hard campaign, and as it is at the tail end of that hard campaign, it could get worn down here. So at whatever, she might be 1 to 5 realistically.
Hmm.
People at the Breeders' Cup fall in love with stars, and that's one of the stars that we have there. And at 1 to 5, I think Raging Sea, an awesome result, and even the one you mentioned, the one I would like to throw them all in there because
Okay.
Torpedo Anna I see as a deserving favorite, but not an overwhelming favorite like she's going to be.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I was thinking of getting a little narrow, but since we went narrow in the first two legs, I think there's no reason to let Raging Sea beat us in case the pace
Yeah,
does fall apart. Yeah, so we'll go 1, 2, 6, 9 in there, and then try to get a little funkier in the Breeders' Cup turf because the turf I think is absolutely wide open. I think there's so many different ways you can go in here. Favored is Rebels Romance. But he's obviously very, very admirable horse. 14 for 21. He's won. I love this, Jim. Talk about a world traveler. He's won 6 Group 1s in 5 different countries. That's
unbelievable.
pretty
Yeah,
damn impressive. That
yeah.
being said, he's drawn on the outside in a 3-turn race. I don't think on form he towers over this field. He's just one of the contenders. This is a tricky race because I'm not 100% sure to do with the what to do with the Euros. There's no like standout Euro, but they all kind of have a look. Luxembourg is a little interesting. The 4, I thought the 5 JRB and the 10 Wingspan are kind of the emergent horses. But I also thought that there was a good amount of speed in here. A lot of the Euros coming over, and this isn't usually the case, have speed, and they could get a little hot up front. I'm interested in Shariar, the 3 for Japan. I thought he ran great last year in a stronger renewal of the turf. Ran third at 25 to 1 behind Auguste Rodin. I think Auguste Rodin would probably be like 3 to 5 or 4 to 5 in this race. He's a little bit in an outer. He doesn't run all that often, but I think his good race gets him there, and I think the race might set up for him. Tell me your thoughts about what to me is a wide open turf.
Dude, you're right on with me because I got the 3 picked on top, and I think there's going to be huge value there. I do like the 11. You can't leave that horse out by no means. And
Mm-hmm.
and then even Farbridge, I think could fit in here. Um, I got us going 5 deep, 3, 4, 5, 11, 6.
All right, 3, 4. Okay, let's see. I mean, Emily Upjohn is a little bit scary for John
Yeah.
Gosden. I would throw her into, and
How
then
deep can we go? How deep do you figure we can go
yeah, we
here?
can go pretty deep. Like we're only 3 by 2 by 4 in the first 3 legs. So I would throw
Just,
her in. I would also throw the other Euro for Aiden O'Brien Wingspan to the
yep.
outside. Um, I got a crazy horse that I also would toss in Grand Sonata. He's 20 to 1 morning line. Like he's
That race
probably a
at
little bit.
Kentucky Downs was impressive.
It
I was
was
there
because
that day. That was hugely impressive.
yeah, and he made like an early move and hit
Yeah.
the lead like way too early and then held off all the closers. He ran great, I thought, in the United Nations 2-back. I'm willing to forgive him for the sword dancer because that was just such a slow pace. He had
Yeah.
really no chance to make up any ground. I don't think he's fast enough to win. I like him more underneath, but since we have the ability for the coverage, I don't want to let him beat me if somehow he does jump up and win at 40
Let's
to
do it.
1. So
Yeah.
let's go. We'll use 8 in here. We'll use 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 10 and 11. So I think that's pretty good coverage. And then hopefully this is the race we can catch a price because the first three races I think in this sequence look a little chalky. So we're going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 10 and 11. So we're 8
Dude, they
deep.
look they look chalky until Torpedo Anna gets beat and Star of Mystery wins, and they look a little better.
Hey man, no, from your lips to God's ears. Like I'm with you right there. So we're 3 by 2 by 4 by 8 in the first 4 legs of this Saturday pick 5, and so that's 96 times whatever we use in the last race. And this is gonna be so weird to have the classic be the middle race of the pick 5 of the card on Saturday of the Breeders' Cup races. It's a really interesting classic. It's not the highest quality classic you've ever seen, but we've talked about this ad nauseum on the main show. City of Troy, Forever Young in particular, adds so much intrigue to this race. Obviously, Fierceness is one of the top 3-year-olds this year, if not the top 3-year-old. And I think Next is a wild card. I could see Next winning this race by open lengths or running 12th. Like
Yeah.
he could do anything possible, and I think from the outside he's got to go. At least there's a long run going into the clubhouse turn. I don't see a ton of speed. Like there's some front runners, but I don't necessarily see a super pace meltdown here. Jim, what are your thoughts on the classic?
Okay, City of Troy, first of all. I almost want to leave the horse out. The
I
talent is
know.
there.
I know.
I almost want to leave the horse out.
I
I
know.
don't like the aspect of trying something brand new in this situation against a legit field. You're right; it's not the best classic field, but they're legit. Fierceness and Sierra Leone, those are legit horses. It's not a walkover. Um, you can't leave them out. I get it. In here, I like Fierceness. I think the horse finally got his act together. He's run a couple of really monster races back to back now. Not as awkward as he was early on in his career. I like Fierceness on top. I got Sierra Leone second, and I got Next third.
All
The
right.
French horses I got in there as well. The Japanese horses I got in there as well. And then I guess City of Troy you got to throw in.
Yeah. So I think it makes sense to go 5 deep in here. I think Forever Young, City of Troy, and then obviously Fierceness. I would also throw in Sierra Leone and Next. It's so funny. Like I've spent all year talking about what is money burner Sierra Leone is and how I think he's so overrated. But I think this might be the day for him at a
I agree.
price because
I agree.
he's been favored pretty much every race in his career. He's been 9-2 max. He's 12-1 morning line. I don't know if he's gonna be quite that high, but I think he'll be like 9 or 10-1. And I think that I don't want to be live. I don't want to be live to everybody else but him and see him motoring down the stretch of Del Mar just to be like, hey Joe, you talk shit about me all year. Watch this. You know what I'm saying?
Giving you the finger as he's running by.
Exactly. So no, I refuse to let that happen with you in tow, Jim. So yeah, let's go 1, 3, 9, 11, 14. Arthur's Ride scares me a little bit, but I just can't take him off of that race in the Jockey Club Gold Cup and with shipping across the country. I think he's a little bit of a phony, but he's the only one that scares me a little bit. But I'm okay using those 5. So that's great. So this is a $480 ticket. I think that's manageable between 2 dudes, especially for Jim, who's got a lot more money than me. 4, 6, 9 with 6.
Not if I keep betting with you, I'll be tapped.
I set myself up for that one. So the ticket is, and Julia will put this up on the screen for the viewers, 469 with 69 with 1, 2, 6, 9 with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, closing it out in the Classic with 1, 3, 9, 11, 12 for a $480 ticket. Love it. Feels good. Looks good. Now let's get it home.